moments.
Are happening right now, a crucial vote taking place in the President Trump's impeachment trial. Senators are now voting whether to allow witnesses. It's expected to fall through, though. Let's give it a listen.
No. Mr. Heinrich. Aye. Ms. Hirono. Aye. Mr. Hoven. No. Mrs. Hyde-Smith. No. Mr. Inhofe.
You're hearing
No,
the roll
Mr.
call
Johnson.
of all the senators involved in the vote.
No, Mr. Jones.
Republican plans to call for a vote to acquit
Mr.
if this does
Mr.
not pass.
Kennedy.
May not happen until next week. We'll come back to this vote, but let's get Alice Barr's update on today's
Ms.
proceedings.
Klobuchar.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment.
Even before
The
a
chaplain will
pivotal
lead us in
vote on
prayer.
whether to call witnesses in the impeachment trial of President Trump, the outcome seemed certain. A cluster of key Republicans coming out to say they'll vote no, while still acknowledging the president's actions were inappropriate. Senator Lisa Murkowski saying in this partisan impeachment, there will be no fair trial and continuing the process won't change anything. Even as their quest for more evidence appeared headed for a dead end, House managers made an 11th hour appeal.
Let the American people know that you understand they deserve the truth.
Republicans securing enough votes to move toward the final stage to acquit the president. At the same time, more explosive allegations emerged from the upcoming book by former National Security Advisor John Bolton. The New York Times reporting Bolton alleges President Trump tried to draw him into a pressure campaign to get Ukraine to investigate the Bidens starting last May.
What this does is it moves up the timetable on Trump's involvement. In May, there was a meeting in the Oval Office in which Trump said to Bolton, call Zelensky and make sure that he'll meet with Giuliani.
The White House in a statement saying that meeting never happened. But the revelations clearly energized Democrats for one last push, getting their story on the record with the American people, though their chances for success in the Senate appear dim. Senator Murkowski sided with her fellow Republicans, but said as an institution, Congress has failed. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
All right, let's go back to the Senate floor where they're voting whether to allow witnesses in the president's impeachment trial.
Aye. Mr. Scott of Florida. No. Mr. Scott of South Carolina. No. Mrs. Shaheen. Aye. Mr. Shelby. No. Ms. Sinema.
Once again, this is the U.S.
Aye.
Senate
Ms.
voting
Smith.
whether to allow witnesses in President
Aye.
Trump's impeachment
Stabenow.
trial. We're going to stay with this because it shouldn't be
Aye.
another minute or so before we have
Mr.
the total
Sullivan.
on that resolution.
No. Mr. Tester. Aye. Mr. Thune. No. Mr. Tillis. No. Mr.
Tom
Toomey.
Tillis of North Carolina just casting his vote
No.
against
Mr. Udall.
allowing witnesses.
Aye. Mr. Van Hollen. Aye. Mr. Warner. Aye. Ms. Warren. Aye. Mr. Whitehouse.
We only have a few more to go. This is the
Aye.
U.S. Senate
Mr. Wicker.
voting whether to allow witnesses in
No.
President Trump's impeachment
Mr.
trial.
Wyden. Aye. Mr. Young. No. Mr. Blumenthal. Aye.
Once again, this is the U.S. Senate voting in the impeachment trial whether to allow witnesses, waiting for the final total to be read by the clerk. Well, we don't know how much longer this is going to be before they announce that total. We're going to go ahead and take our break.
Are there any senators in the chamber
on.
wishing to change his or her vote? If not, the yeas are 49. The nays are 51.
51 to 49, you heard Chief Justice
motion
John
is not
Roberts
agreed
say
to.
the motion does not pass. That means there will be
Under the
no
previous order,
extra
the Senate stands
witnesses
in
and
recess
witness
until
testimony
call
in President
chair.
Trump's impeachment trial. We'll get more on this from the U.S. Senate floor in a moment. Let's take a break. We'll be back on WECT News at 5:30.